Hey guys, what's going on? It's Carlos, CEO of G.A.R Capital. You guys picked an IG live. Here I am doing one. As I sip my water. Hope everyone's having a very nice Friday afternoon. We haven't done an IG live in a while, so just want to go ahead, answer some questions like we usually do. And like the IG live I'm doing this morning, the internet was really shit, so here we are. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flip this to go over some charts, answer some questions, and I'll do this for about 30 minutes, and then I'll post it on YouTube and save it just in case you miss it. All right, no sweat. Now I'm gonna go ahead and flip this damn thing if I can. Here we go. Okay, so rock and roll. Let me see if I can get this going. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and expand. First thing is gonna expand E-mini futures. I talk about this a lot, as you know. And makes my sell. Hopefully everyone can see it. E-mini futures. All right, let's go ahead and start with E-mini futures and the levels I'm looking for. Today was a pretty choppy session. So was yesterday. So not much going on. Again, you had the gap up on Sunday. Not much happening since then. The level you want to look for, guys, the key level is 32.35 on E-mini futures. That is your breakout level. If you do break out 32.35, then you will look at new all-time highs. First, you have to break 3,300, and then you'll get to 33.97. So again, as we said before on podcasts and everything else, we are still bullish. Nothing has changed in our opinion. So the only moves I've made today, I traded space today with the Signal members, and we caught that for 50%. I am personally still holding because I like the chart very much. So I'm still long the name. I own the stock. I actually went green on the stock today actually. So pretty good. Space closed up 14% today. Dow closed today down 62 points. NASDAQ was green, and so was S&P. I also bought some more Netflix. I actually bought the dip on Netflix personally, and I bought my SPY-G every single week. Every Friday I buy SPY-G. So, all right, let's go and answer some questions, and I'm gonna do it in rapid fire. Okay, let me go ahead and start. Let's see. No, guys, it's gonna be quick here. Bullish or bearish? Still bullish? Of course we are. Bullish, we are. All right, Paula asks about Boeing. Let me go and bring up Boeing. Good old Boeing. Boeing on an hourly chart, pretty chop. Not much going on. I do own the stock as well. My support level will be right around 169-ish on the 1 hour. But again, we're still showing a little bit of chop range here. Probably a descending triangle. Break of 160 will definitely get us some puts there. 166 is your 100-day moving average, but again, you can see this descending triangle showing. There is a gap to be filled right around 173, but again, it is a volatile name. So again, once it breaks 160 should be the target. At 160, I'd probably be buying more shares on Boeing personally. What's my viewpoint on SHLL? I have no idea what SHLL is, by the way. Kev, where's Kev? Kev is in Miami. DAL JetBlue, I own DAL, and I own DAL long term, so I don't plan to make any money on it short term. So again, I'm an investor in DAL. All right, Tesla. Everyone's talking about Tesla. I'm going to record our weekly video for our premium members and our students tomorrow, and we're going to go over every single stock that is going to be reporting earnings this week, and what my take is and how we're going to play it. So Tesla, you could see just almost parabolic moves. Again, it's still holding up pretty nice at 1,500. Yes, we did tap almost at 1,800. 1,800 is another breakout level. Playing Tesla options is very difficult. Again, you had this pump, then you had just sideways action, basically killing all premiums. Right below the 100 and the 50, the 50-day moving average, the 100 and the 50 is crossing over. Your 200-day average is 1389. That's where you probably want to pull the trigger on maybe adding a couple of more shares if you can, or if you haven't yet. But again, I've been holding Tesla since like 500 since the beginning of the year. So that's where I'm at. But again, 1439 is your fib level there. Your next one, 1389 is your 200-day. Again, it's really just a crapshoot. You really don't know when it comes to earnings. It can have great earnings and the stock falls. You can have bad earnings and the stock soars. It really just depends on demand. What my take is, honestly, I think with this kind of move up, I think we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. I think we'll get an opportunity to buy some more shares. I wouldn't want to buy puts on it, but I think with this kind of run up into earnings, kind of like how Netflix did. I think Tesla will get a pullback. I would target right around 1,300 should be the level that it will pull back a little bit to. I wouldn't be surprised, maybe around 1,200 personally. But I am bullish the name, but just for earnings, it gives an opportunity. Let me see if I can get this going. Okay, SPY 340 for next week says Amen. I'm going to ruin that name. 330 for next week. Wow, you're really bullish. Right now we're at 321.41, 321.19 after hours, and you could see just kind of hovering at that support. So that resistance there. The best bet is to wait for that break of 323.39. Then I would probably play the 325s or 326s for next week. Can you explain your last post on Netflix? I'm new to this. It depends on which one. If you're talking about the after hours earning, then that was just a report based on Netflix's earnings. Let me go and switch camera and I'll answer. Basically, it's about the earnings report from Netflix. Their subs were up. They still have 20% growth year over year for about 26 consecutive quarters. That's a really good number for a growth company. But again, subs, and I believe revenue beat subs, but EPS, which is earnings per share, did not beat estimates. So again, estimates are just estimates from analysts who cover the stock. And it's kind of like box office. When people used to go to the movies, they had box office estimates, see if the movie did beat the forecast. That's kind of usually the deal. But again, sometimes stocks beat the forecast and then they have bad guidance and the stock goes down. Or sometimes they miss earnings and they beat guidance, it goes up. It just really depends. All it is just really just the point of demand and do people want the stock. And keep in mind, guys, after our session, the volume's very thin. So again, not everyone trades after hours. It really is based on the open. The cash open at 9:30. I'm in calls. Tesla. Yeah, Tesla. Beyond Meat. All right, Beyond Meat is not a name that I own. Let me see if I can go ahead and bring that up here. Beyond Meat on the hourly looks very bearish. I'll go ahead and bring it up that as well. Let me go and flip this. All right, Beyond Meat. 172.73 is your breakout level that you want to take a look at on the daily chart. Right now, you kind of hover around 123.79, 110.53 is your 100-day moving average on the daily. That should be around your support. But you could see on the hourly basis, it's just an absolute dog. Has been absolutely consistently going down. So I would not be bullish on this name personally. I think Beyond has a little more to go. I think that it does hit that 100-day moving average of around 110. If you do break 110, it should be an opportunity for maybe you to buy. If you wanted to buy Beyond, maybe target 104, maybe 100. If you wanted to get in, I think you have a little more downside here. To the moon. Netflix. Thoughts on gold, short and midterm. Gold, I'm bullish on. Again, as long as the Fed keeps printing, the dollar is going to get a little weaker. Not, Venezuela or Zimbabwe weak, but again, gold is still great long term. 1812 announced right now on the futures side. So again, I'm bullish on gold and I'm bullish on silver. Silver had a hell of a day. It's about to test that $20 an ounce level. I actually own physical gold bars and gold coins. I also own some silver as well. Why is this market so choppy? Just low volume right now. Basically looking for the catalyst, which is usually your vaccine headlines, some China news, or some stimulus talk or Federal Reserve talk. But honestly, volume thinned out Thursday and Friday. That's what happens. Apple calls for next week. Apple does not report until August. So let me see if I can bring this up. Apple is breaking out, of course. It did break 399.82. Right now, again, just chop Thursday and Friday. Not much happening there. Looks like there'll be a gap fill right around here on the hourly. You could see there's a gap to fill right at 384.11. We should be able to tap that and then bounce back. Still like Apple long term. But to get into calls, I would say you need to break around 385, 387.76, which is the 50-day. That's what I would do. Thoughts on DKNG, which is I think it's DraftKings. I own that as well. Again, NBA season starts in about 2 weeks. People want to bet. People want to gamble. Sports betting is still on the rise. Fantasy sports still on the rise. So again, that's one of my more of the rolling the dice type stock that I want to own long term. So I like DraftKings. Amazon prediction. Higher. Amazon is a great stock to own long term. Absolutely. Just a very expensive ticker price. If you don't have the funds to buy it, you're talking about $2,960. But again, it has been going down a little bit. There is a gap to fill right around 2903, excuse me. We should be able to tap that. I think below 2900 should be a good time to buy. If you want to wait a little longer, you can wait for that breakout of the all-time high, or the previous all-time high of 2722. That'd be a really good price to get in. BABA, let's see. Just to keep in mind, guys, I don't have any new option position open. All I have is space calls. BABA has been very choppy as well. Let me go ahead and bring that up. Nope. BABA shows here very choppy movement. Again, a nice break to the upside about 270, came back down to around 242, and now we're at 247 above the 50. Need to get above 250, which is the 100-day before you start making a move. But the 200-day could be that support level where you may want to add your position. I do own BABA as well. All right, let's go ahead and answer some questions. SPY open next week. I don't own SPY calls or anything like that. Who buys options that people try to sell on Friday with 0 DTE? Again, it could be algorithms. It could be people who want to exercise the option. What do you anticipate we get closer to November? Again, when it comes to a presidential election, it's very bullish for the market, especially when an incumbent is running for re-election. If Trump does win, it will be bullish for the stock market due to the corporate tax rate. He seems to be more business friendly. But again, if Biden wins, you may get some short-term volatility. But again, everyone thought the same thing when Trump won in 2016. Futures tanked, and then the next day they soared. So where it is. IWM long calls dead. Yeah, those are dead. What can you do? What are your thoughts on Apple? Apple long term. What's your podcast called? The G.A.R Capital Podcast. That's G.A.R Capital Podcast. Baba's garbage. Drop it. I don't think so. It says next week. Let's see. Worried about the budget deficit and U.S. debt. I'm not worried about it because Congress is not worried about it. So what can you do? I mean, it's not like you're going to send extra money to the IRS and the Treasury to pay it off. Anyways, it's just where we are. SPY versus IWM midweek. What happened there? Again, we got chopped up with Thursday and Friday. Best options advice for new investors. Best thing I would say is to learn what you're doing first before you put any real money to work. Make sure to demo trade and learn your way in. It takes a doctor about 8 years to get into surgery. It takes a lawyer about 8 years of study to go to court. You're not going to learn options overnight. Thoughts on SPY 340 calls next week? Huge bet on it. I would caution that because the only catalyst you may have next week is earnings. So I don't see any reason why we may hit 340 next week. I mean, we need some real good vaccine news. 340 on SPY is the all-time high, so that's really difficult to get. NKLA I would stay away from. SPY 324 open 720. That's not a pretty bad bet. 324 for next week. You need a little push. You need to get to that high, but again, that's not actually a bad bet. What happened to Facebook and IWM this week? You get losses. It happens. What happened to Space this week? We've had some really good calls, but guys, if you have expectation that we're going to make every single trade correct, you're in the wrong business. Thoughts on TGT? I like it long term. I actually sold TGT stock, but again, I moved that retail. I sold some retail stocks like Walmart, TGT. I also sold some consumer staples because I'm moving into more cyclical like an Amazon. What's your time frame of the EMA? Well, I actually use SMA, which is simple moving average, which would be the 200-day, 100-day, and 50-day. Okay, so I'm going to do this for another 10 minutes. What are your thoughts on Netflix? Actually, Netflix, I saw some of their numbers. They're actually really great, and I actually bought the dip today. I added a couple more shares on my Netflix position on the dip today, and I'm planning to hold it long term. Banks, the only banks I like are JP Morgan, and that's the only one I own. What do you think Amazon is going next week? Amazon, honestly, you're getting a lot of profit taking. So again, they have earnings the week after, so I wouldn't expect any kind of huge moves. Maybe again, 2,900 should be able to tap in that gap fill there. Using the volume indicator at the bottom, yes. Amazon calls are way too expensive. And is Netflix a good buy at this level? Yeah, I think Netflix is actually a good buy at this level. I actually bought some. Do you like NIO? It dropped because of the downgrades. I don't own NIO and I don't want to own it. Anything EV, electrical vehicles, I want to own Tesla. That's the only one I own. Defense sector, your best bet would probably be Lockheed Martin. GLD, long term, it's one of our top 10 stocks. of 2020. We own it. Microsoft, I do like long term as well. I do own it. And Microsoft, in regards to calls, guys, just gotta keep in mind, Microsoft and Amazon have been kind of moving side by side. Cloud Kings, I think if it does break below 200, maybe around 195, that'll give you an opportunity to buy some more. They usually smash their expectations of the quarter. It just really depends on what the expectation is, what their guidance is going to be. They just laid off some workers. So again, kind of temper your expectations. Let's see if we break above that 100 and 200, but it is crossing over on the hourly at 208.61. So again, just be careful. Don't jump into anything right now. Monday is where you want to see where the markets are moving. AMD, I actually was looking at today, long to buy some calls, but again, it kind of flustered around the 100-day moving average. It tapped 55.90 today at the open, and then kind of fell around 55.05. So it's been kind of chopped there, just like the market. So, but I do like bullish here. I would say put an alert right around 55.50, maybe buy some calls, and then maybe the 56s could be a play. Have you done BA? Just joined the live. Yeah, I talked about BA earlier. Let's see. Thoughts on trading 212? I don't know what that means. Thoughts on Apple? I like Apple long term. How are you guys doing weekly and monthly? I'd have to look at our reports. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm doing the video with you guys. Ticker symbol Apple. I already spoke about it earlier. Don't worry, it's recorded if you did miss it. Apple, again, I'm still bullish on, but again, you want to get to around 387 before you start buying some calls. It's just been chopped. I know what options to get into this each week. Well, it just depends. We actually look at maybe around 10 tickers at a time. If you look here, I have my other tickers here on my other monitor that I'm always looking at, and then I have my 4 here. So it really just depends on the names I follow on a daily basis. I also have a watch list here on the side that I watch every day. Okay, let's see. Thanks for answering gold. Totally agree. Good luck. Thank you. What do you guys think about crude oil? I don't trade crude oil, but again, it's been hovering around that 40 handle on futures. I don't trade futures on crude oil. That's more of an Anthony thing. He trades futures a lot. Let's see. T, don't expect tons of movement when it comes to earnings. Again, guys, they're more like a utility, telecom. So T's not going to be moving a lot. I like their dividend yield. I own the stock. But again, when it comes to earnings, you may move 1 or 2%. It's not enough for you to make a move. Microsoft, a different story. But again, it could be a slow mover too. NVIDIA, I do like long term. Think Tesla will beat earnings estimate again? I mean, it's a total shot in the dark. Who really knows? But I mean, even if they beat, it could sell off because people want to take profit. So I own it. I don't plan to sell it. I do want to buy some more. So again, I'm kind of welcoming a drop in Tesla. Maybe if we can get a nice 8% drop after earnings would be great because I would buy some more. Microsoft for next week. I don't own Microsoft for next week except the stock. Again, you don't know what's going to happen. I don't own any options on it. I think that we could break around 200 a share there. It could be some profit taking. But again, we have a lot to get to around the 100 and the 200 and it's crossed over. That's not a really great sign. What stock you buy the most since March? SPY-G. SPY-G is what I buy every single week. That's the index. Where do you see Amazon for the next 2 weeks? I mean, again, that's really with earnings. I really have no idea. Shop. Yep, I do like Shop long term. Thoughts on Space? Space I have long term anyways. The level you want to break is 25. Once it is, it will be a massive short squeeze. What do you think of the ban on Chinese comps and stocks? I mean, we've heard this back and forth before. The Huawei thing, now the TikTok thing. Same old, same old. Nothing really going on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and answer one more question so I can save this. Let's see. Kind of answer the same thing on Microsoft. Oh, let's see. Thoughts of getting some AZN or mRNA positions? That's a really good question. When it comes to biotech, the only biotech company that I own that I've been telling people you should get in, instead of picking the company that's going to get the vaccine, just buy IBB, which is the ETF, the biotech ETF. I'll tell you exactly what companies are in that. I own a position, just shares in it. IBB, this is what it holds. IBB owns Amgen, Vertex Pharmaceuticals, Gilead, Regeneron, Illumina, Biogen, Seattle Genetics, Moderna, Alexion, and Incyte. So again, I have Moderna in that ETF. IBB just this year, at 1 year return is at 25% return. And since inception, since it started, it's only up 7. But IBB Biotech ETF is actually tapping new all-time highs. The last year to date, it is up 13.6%. In a rolling 52-week period, it's up 25%. So again, we know the drill. I would say IBB would probably be the best way to go. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. If you have any other questions, feel free to type it on the YouTube channel. I'm going to post this on YouTube, file and save it, and I'll post it. So just type it under the comments on the YouTube. I'll answer them as I get along. Make sure to like and subscribe our videos on YouTube. We're trying to get to 4,000 subs. I think we're at 3,700. So 300 more, we'll do a live trading session with me. The faster we get to 4,000, the faster we can do a live. I really want to do one with you guys. So I appreciate questions. I appreciate you joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and post this. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys on Monday for the morning note. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Get your mind out of the markets for a little bit. You guys deserve it. Enjoy, guys.